James Matthew Barrie, Peter Pan. In London, there is a park called Kensington Gardens. It's a beautiful park with grass and green emeralds and a lake called Serpentine. When it's sunny, children go running and playing on the grass. The children of London, like the children of any part of the world, must grow up and can't be children forever. But somewhere there is a country where children don't grow up. They are always 7 years old. This country is called Neverland and is an enchanted world where children play and enjoy themselves. Peter Pan is one of these children. His best friend is a tiny fairy called Tinker Bell. In the enchanted world of Neverland, children can fly, so Peter Pan can see the world from the sky. He likes looking at the children playing in Kensington Gardens. At night, he flies to their bedroom windows and listens to the stories they tell before going to bed. There is a house where Peter Pan and Tinker Bell like going at night. It is the house where the Darling family lives. The Darlings have 3 children, a little girl and 2 young boys. The girl's name is Wendy. Her younger brothers are John and Michael. Every night, Wendy tells her brothers stories about a faraway land where children don't grow up. Peter likes listening to these stories, and every night he flies to Wendy's house. The nursery window is open so he can listen to Wendy's stories. The children can't see him in the darkness. The family also has a dog called Nana. One night, while Peter Pan and Tinker Bell are listening to Wendy, Mrs. Darling suddenly opens the door. Peter Pan and Tinker Bell are afraid and fly away from the window, but Nana sees them, jumps and tries to catch Peter. Peter escapes, but Nana catches his shadow and holds onto it firmly. The following night, Peter Pan and Tinker Bell fly to Wendy's house to look for Peter's shadow. While they are in the bedroom, Wendy suddenly wakes up and sees them. "Who are you?" she asks Peter. "I am Peter Pan, the child who never grows up," he answers. "I live in Neverland." Wendy is happy to hear that Neverland really exists, and she helps Peter to find his shadow. "Why don't you come to Neverland with me?" asks Peter. Wendy accepts. "Can my brothers come too?" she asks Peter. "Of course. Wake them up and we will fly to Neverland together." Wendy wakes John and Michael. They are excited about flying to Neverland. "Let's go," says Peter Pan, and they all fly into the sky, higher and higher toward the stars. Peter Pan takes Wendy and her little brothers to the enchanted island of Neverland. It is a wonderful island full of trees, lakes, green grass, and beautiful flowers. Looking down from the sky, they can see an Indian village. After landing on the island, John and Michael go to look at it while Peter Pan takes Wendy to the Mermaid Lagoon. This is a wonderful place inhabited by strange creatures, half woman and half fish. The mermaids greet Peter Pan and Wendy, but something scary suddenly appears in front of them. It's Captain Hook, the wicked pirate. When the mermaids see him sailing towards the lagoon, they dive into the water and swim away. Wendy is frightened. The pirate is really ugly and he only has one hand. He has lost the other hand in a fight and he now has a hook in its place. Captain Hook is followed by a huge crocodile, which is always hungry and wants to eat him. In fact, it already ate the captain's hand, and it would like to eat the rest of him too. Don't be afraid, Peter Pan says to Wendy. Captain Hook is my worst enemy, but I don't fear him. Peter Pan and Wendy follow the captain without being seen. Captain Hook goes to his hideout. There, Peter and Wendy see an Indian princess tied to a rock. The captain asks her where he can find Peter Pan, but the princess doesn't tell him. I must save her, cries Peter Pan, flying in front of Captain Hook. Here you are lost, cries Hook, drawing his sword. He jumps up and they start fighting. Hook jumps from rock to rock. He suddenly slips on a rock and nearly falls into the crocodile's mouth. Luckily, he falls inside his boat and rows away, followed by the hungry crocodile. He is very angry and thinks about how he can get his revenge. The pirates tell him that Tinker Bell is angry with Peter Pan because she is jealous of Wendy. Perhaps Tinker Bell will help me, thinks Hook. Meanwhile, Peter Pan and Wendy have taken the Indian princess to her village where they found John and Michael. They all go to Peter's secret hideout. John and Michael are tired and they would like to go home. Wendy is homesick too, so she promises her younger brothers that they will go back home very soon. Will you come and stay with us? She asks Peter Pan. He belongs to the land where children never grow up, and he can't go with her. Wendy and her brothers say goodbye to Peter Pan, but they don't know what they are in great danger. The pirates are approaching Peter's hideout. Tinker Bell is going to help Captain Hook because he wants to capture Wendy. Tinker Bell is very silly and shows him Peter's hideout. She is now locked up in the pirate's ship. When Wendy and her little brothers come out of Peter's hideout, they are captured by the pirates and taken to Hook's ship. When Peter Pan comes to save you, I will catch him, cries the wicked pirate. Tinker Bell hears him and understands how foolish she has been. Now Peter Pan is in a great danger, and it is all her fault. She is very sorry. How can she save him? Tinker Bell struggles to get free from the glass lantern where she is imprisoned. At last, she manages to break the glass and she can fly away. She flies to Peter Pan and tells him everything. She says that she is very sorry that Peter and Peter forgives her at once. They promise to remain friends forever. What can we do now? How can we fight Hook and his pirates? Asked Tinkerbell. Peter Pan is ready to fight the wicked pirates. Let's go to the ship, he cries. It's time. Hook will not escape. Without losing a second, Peter Pan and Tinkerbell fly to the ship. When Hook sees Peter, he draws his sword and says, "Come here, I will feed you to the crocodile," and he bursts into a terrible laugh. Hook has hit Steel's sword, but Peter is nimble and quick in his movements. He makes the pirate run up and down the deck until he is out of breath. Then he climbs up the ship's mast. Furious, Hook follows him. When they reach the top of the mast, Peter flies away. Hook swings left and right until he loses his balance. Splash! Hook falls into the water. The hungry crocodile is swimming towards him with his mouth open. Hook swims and swims towards the boat. Behind him, he hears the snapping jaw of the crocodile. "We are free at last," cries Peter. "Now you can go back home." He raises the anchor and takes command of the pirate ship. "Now I will turn this ship into a magic ship, and it will fly into the sky," says Tinkerbell. The ship rises from the sea and sails into the sky. The children are excited. What a wonderful adventure they have been having. The ship flies light and nimble through the starry sky until it reaches the city of London. When the ship is over the three children's house, it stops outside the nursery window. Wendy, John, and Michael are saying goodbye to Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Then they go into their bedroom. It is so nice to be home again. When Nana sees the children, she joyfully jumps up and down in the room. Before going to bed, the three children looked out of the window. The pirate ship is up there among the stars, sailing to Neverland. They wave goodbye until it disappears into the distance. The end. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So, goodbye.